am Marlene Motivates, and you are tuned in to your dose of positivity. I am Marlene Motivates, and as I always say, just know it, just breathe it, and be it, and live your best life.
Be encouraged, be inspired, be yourself, you will survive. Just know it, just breathe it, and be it, and live your best life.
Hey everyone, I am Marlene Motivates, and this is your channel for all things self improvement, motivation, life lessons, and positivity. So, if it's your first time here on this channel, welcome, and I would love for you to subscribe to this channel. And to everyone who is returning, welcome back, motivators, for another self improvement live stream. So, today we're going to be talking on the topic. Okay, I'm on my phone, guys. So, it's something. Hold on one second. Okay. So, thank you all so much for being here. I appreciate everyone's support. Thank you for supporting this channel. It's very much appreciated. And let me put up this banner here for the topic. Today, we're going to be talking about improvement, self improvement. I think that that's very, very important to speak about self improvement because we are all adults, and as an adult, we have to take responsibility for our actions, and we all need to improve. We don't want to stay in the same place and space that we have been for our whole life. We want to mature. We want to do better. We want to feel better. We want to have positive reinforcements and tools in order to improve ourselves. So, today we're going to be talking about 6 ways that we can improve and be a better you. At the end of the day, our improvement in our life, for us getting to be a better person, is all up to us. And I want to talk on this topic because I'm speaking from personal experience. I personally had to make a decision for myself to improve and to not keep with the same behaviors that I always had. We can do that as adults. We can be miserable, angry, you know, do all kinds of things to other people. We can start things and never finish it. We can do lots of things as an adult. Of course, you can. It happens every day. But we have to want to do better in our life in order to receive those things. So I'm speaking to all of you who want to improve. Welcome to this topic because it's going to be an amazing one. So, when we talk about self improvement, we're talking about ourselves in how we want to be a better woman or how we want to be a better man. And it starts there. We have to want to be better and do better than those in the past. Maybe the way you grew up, maybe the thoughts that you were grown up in, maybe the actions of other people, maybe their values are not yours. And when it comes to being an adult, we have to take charge of our life. We have to take control over our life. We have to want to be better and do better for it to change. And I want you all to be better than you were, okay? Be better than you were. So self-improvement tips to try. I want you to try this out in your life so that you can be a better version of yourself, okay? And in the chat, we have Mr. Terry. Hi, Mr. Terry. Welcome. Good to see you. So we're talking about self improvement, and the first thing that you have to evaluate what isn't working and change it. Evaluate what isn't working and change it. Okay. And it means that you have to look at your life. You have to look at the things that you're doing. You have to look at the people who are around you. And you have to evaluate, is my life going the way that you want it to go? Is my life going in a good direction? Am I happy? Am I prosperous? Do I have joy in my life? Do I have peace? How is my financial status? How is my health going? And what can I do about it? I think that that's the most important thing when we are speaking on self improvement. We have to look at our life, we have to evaluate it, and then we have to say, what is it that I can do to improve it? And that's what it's about. It's about the actions. We have to want better for ourselves in order for our life to get better. So, number one, evaluate what isn't working and change it. Now, how do we do that? Well, it means that you are being accountable for yourself. You're accountable for your actions. What am I doing? Is it good, or is it something that I can seek to be better at? That's what happened for me. I had to look at my life and say, I want my life to be better. I want my life to be a better quality of life. I want it to be improved. I want to be happier. I want to have more peace. I want to have more joy. I want my finances to be in line. I want to work on my credit. I want to have a plan for my life instead of just going through life. Because that's something that we all can do. You can either go through life or you can enjoy your life. It's our personal choice to have a prosperous, a happy life, to be it exactly what we want it to be. And our life can only be as good as we make a choice for it to be. Each of us as adults has to choose happiness, choose peace, choose joy, choose forgiveness, choose understanding, choose elevation, choose a positive attitude. And it's something we have to do every day, and even sometimes moment to moment. We have to choose to elevate ourselves. And I think for me, starting with myself, I had to learn to be compassionate to myself, and the things that I didn't like about my life, the things that I didn't like what I was doing, the things that I didn't like the way people were treating me. I had to change that for myself, because your life isn't going to change until you make that decision to change it. And it started with that for me, making a choice to say, you know what, I'm going to choose me. I'm going to love on myself. I'm going to respect myself. Hi, Dee Dee. How are you? Welcome. It's good to see you. Welcome in. Happy Wednesday. Happy hump day, everybody. And happy new month for those who were not here yesterday. We're in August now. Happy new month. So, evaluate what isn't working in your life and change it. What isn't working in your current life? Hey, James Money, how are you? Welcome. Good to see you. Thanks so much for being here. I hope you're doing well. And I would appreciate the likes. It's definitely helpful for my analytics. Thank you all so much. So when we talk about evaluate what isn't working and change it, it means that we have to be transparent about ourselves. We have to see things that maybe if it's something that we don't like about our life, and then we have to say, I don't like it, but I'm going to do what it takes to change it. Oh, Dee Dee says, I'm doing great. Thanks. And how about you? I'm doing great. Thank you so much, Dee Dee. And James, I'm doing well. Thank you. Very good. I love to hear good reports from everybody and know that you all are well. So it's very important for us to see the things that we don't like in our life and change it, because we don't want to be one of those adults that are the ones that complain about everything in our life. I don't like this about my life. I don't like that about my life. I don't this and this is happening, and you're constantly complaining about things, but you're not doing anything in order to improve it. So, as adults, we have to understand that anything in our life that we don't like, we can change it. We're in control of our peace, we're in control of our joy, we're in control of how much we are doing things, we're in control of our own actions. That means accountability as an adult. We're grown, we're not kids, we're not babies. We have to be accountable for ourselves. And I want you as well. I want you all to be accountable for yourself. Let's not do like in the past where people would see things in their life that they didn't like, see people in their life that they didn't like, but they complain about them, but they don't do anything about it. If you don't do anything about your life, it's going to stay in the same state. We can't think that because we complain about something or because we don't like it, some miracle is going to happen for us and our life is just going to change just like that, just because we don't like it, just because we're complaining about it. That doesn't mean it's going to change. We have to make some changes in order for our life to change. So that's the first point, is we have to make some changes, evaluate what isn't working and change it. And if it's not working, we have to do more than say, I'm going to do something about it. We have to put in the action for it. So make yourself a plan. Make a plan and stick to it. And realize that sometimes you're going to take a few steps back, you'll take a step forward, and it's okay. Get up and keep trying over and over and over again until you win. Evaluate what you don't like and change it. Change it because you love yourself. See, this topic is about self improvement and ways to better yourself. If you want to be a better person, if you want to have a better quality of life, you will do whatever it takes to get that. And I'll say it again for those of you who didn't hear me. If you want your life to be better, you will do what it takes to get it. And I want you to have a better life. I know that I am always constantly seeking ways that I can have more peace, I can have more joy, I can have a better financial situation. I can do the things that I always wanted to do. And it means that me being accountable to myself too, and not making excuses and not just saying, I don't like it, but changing things in order for me to have what I want. And you can do that too. Be accountable for yourself. I am mature, I am grown, and anything that I don't like in my life, I'm going to do whatever it takes in order to shift my life. Hey, Estad, how are you? Welcome. Good to see you. Happy hump day. Hey, Miss Tracy, how are you? Welcome. And it means being accountable. And I know a lot of people are not accountable people. We know them, we know some of them, or maybe we are one of those individuals. We will just say we don't like what's happening in our life, but we don't do anything about it. Let's be let's be accountable to ourselves. Let's be accountable for ourselves and make our life even better than it was maybe for your ancestors. See, what I didn't like in the old fashioned way is the people used to complain about things and say that they didn't like certain things. They didn't like the people, they didn't like their financial status, they didn't like their health, and they didn't do anything to change it. See, if you really want to improve, it means being accountable and then putting forth the action to improve your life. Okay. And this is important in improving your life is you have to have realistic goals. And I hear people talk about having goals all the time for their life. Oh, I have this goal and I'm going to do this, but it's not realistic. It's not something that you can do. It would be like me saying that I wanted to be something that was way above and beyond what I could be and what I could do. See, I live in the real world. I live in the realistic world where I'm accountable for myself and I know what I'm capable of. It's like saying you want to do something somebody else can do, but that's not your talent. And that doesn't mean that you don't have talents. That one personally may not be yours. I had to learn to sit in that as an adult, as a grown individual, and say that to myself. I may want certain things in my life, but that is not something that is meant to be for me. Realistic. We have to be realistic and honest with ourselves. Tap into what we can do. Tap into what we're about. Tap into what we can change. Tap into what you can do. And you're going to feel good about yourself and you will follow through with it. See, I found that my challenge was I was trying to be what somebody else was. I was trying to be what somebody else could do and be, but that was not what I was set up for. That's not what I was about. That was not my personality. See, we have to step into who we are as adults and receive who we are. Just like I receive who I am. I know what I can do. I know what my personality is. And you have to know that about yourself. Embrace yourself. Love yourself. Know what you can do. Know what your talent is. Know what your gift is. And do more of that. See, the more that we show up in this world as ourself, our true, pure, and authentic self, like not in comparison, not like anybody else, not, whatever it is, not how other people are judging you to be or how others people say you should be and what other people think that you should do, but you're being yourself and you're standing in your truth. Stand in your personal truth because your truth is different from mine. What you want to do, that doesn't make me inferior. It does not make you inferior because you want to do something outside of the box of other people. It just means you know yourself. It means you love yourself. It means you know what you can do. It means that you know what you're about. I always say, know thyself. Know thyself. Step into that, tap into that. It's a lot of people out here on YouTube, on social media, and in real life who don't know how to be themselves. They don't know how to show up as their pure and authentic self. And you will be so much happier. You will have so much peace if you could just love yourself, be yourself, use your talent, use your gifts, be who you're meant to be. I hope you feel better, Miss Tracy. Yes, Eastside. That's what I try to do over here. I try to just be real, try to be me, and try to motivate people. Anybody who's listening now live or on the replay, you know, I always try to encourage other people that, while it's normal to look at what other people are doing, but use that to motivate yourself to be more of you, not motivate yourself to be like another person, because we cannot do that. Who needs to hear that part again? We cannot be another individual. All we can be is ourself. Be yourself, everybody. Love yourself. That's very important to be the best version of you. Be the best version of you that you can be. We have to always seek to be better than who we were yesterday. And I understand that not everybody is on that plane that they want to constantly improve, they want to elevate. But I'm speaking to those who do. Do you want to elevate? Do you want to improve? Do you want to have better relationships? Do you want to have certain things in your life? If you want that, this message is for you. You have to want to improve. You have to want to be a better person before you can be. Okay? And I want you to be better. And I have to say that to myself too. I want to be better. I want to be better. I want to be a better person. I want to be a better person than I was even yesterday. Okay, let's get back to it. So we talked about having realistic goals. You know, those goals have to be realistic, because if you are wanting and you are seeking something that is not for you, it's not of you, it's not in your present circumstance, then you're setting up yourself to fail. And you're giving yourself needless heartache and pain. So when you're realistic, you know, in my present situation, for who I am, for what my personality is, I'm going to be the best version of me. And I'm going to use my talents. And if other people don't like it, that's their problem. But I'm doing me and being me. And I'm elevating my mind. And I'm loving myself. And I'm doing everything that I can be, because I'm aware of myself. And I respect myself. And I accept challenges victoriously, because I am becoming better. Who needs to hear that? I am becoming better. Hey, Dominique, how are you? Welcome. Good to see you. Happy Wednesday. And that's what we have to say to ourselves. You know, I am better. Every day we should be better than who we were yesterday. You know, it's about personal growth, and not measuring your standards to another person, because what somebody else is doing, it doesn't mean that that's what you're doing. That's what you're about. You know, everybody's in a different place and journey in their life, but you have to be a better version of you when you want to. See, that's what this message is about. If you want to be better, you will. And I want you to be better. Okay. So let's get into point number 3. Make a list of small changes you can make in your daily routine, and then do it. Make a list of, you know, I like to say at least 1 or 2 things that I'm trying to work on about myself. And then you work on it one by one until it becomes a part of your everyday routine. Hey, Nev, how are you? Good to see you. Thank you so much for being here, supporting the channel. I would appreciate all the likes. Thank you all so much for your support, as always. And I'm going to take a water break. So I'm going to play this for the channel membership. I would love for you all to join my channel membership. Hold, please, and I'll be right back. Welcome back, everybody. Much needed water break. So, yeah, let's get back into this topic. Let me see any comments that I missed. Oh, I, I was I on mute the whole time? I'm so silly. Thank you so much for your membership, Estad. Thank you so much. Uh, don't even see where it came in. Uh, no idea where it came in. Right here. Right here. We have a new member. Oh, I just unmuted it. Thank you so much for your membership, Estad. Welcome. Make sure you check out some of the videos that I have on the community tab. And we're going to have a member only live stream next week. So that's going to be exciting. Welcome to membership. And I don't have a membership song yet. I'm still working on that, but that was some money. So I'm going to play when the super chat hits. Pause, please. Oh my goodness. I love that panda. I hope y'all love the panda. So, of course, members always drop exclamation point member to have your link drop to your channel. Yes. Thank you so much, all members and all everyone who supports this channel. Thank you so much. East, that one was for you. Shout out to you, Eastad. So, we're talking about making small changes. For me, a small change that I made was, improving my health, trying to not drink as much soda and water. And for me, when we're trying to improve, we have to replace a bad thing with a good thing. So I couldn't just say no soda. I replaced no soda and I started drinking water. And then I also will have a little bit of juice, but I'll dilute it with some more water. So, small and subtle changes. And that's what it's talking about. Make a list of small changes you can make in your daily routine. It does not always have to be really big and huge things, but whatever it is that we can do, start with something small and then you can improve in bigger ways. So I'm going to put the link in the chat in about 15 minutes. So whoever wants to get ready to talk about some small improvements and changes that they have made to make them a better self, get ready. Get yourself ready. At the 45-minute mark, I'm going to put the link in the chat. Okay. So let's talk about point number 4, how we can 6 ways to improve yourself to have a better life. Invest in your health. Invest in your health. And for me, investing in my health meant, like I said, drinking water, eating healthier foods. So instead of having fried foods, I opted for baking or grilling. Um, so small changes, like try not to overwhelm yourself. Soda is trash. I never drink them except a ginger ale occasionally. Yeah, I'm working on that, but I definitely, being Caribbean, like we always, it was like we drank pineapple soda and Jamaican cola like it was water. And I realized that that's not good now being an adult. I'm trying to do better, but I do like my pineapple soda. I think that's my favorite. Pineapple soda and grape soda is my favorite, but I only let myself have that one time for the week. And the rest of the week, I drink water, juice, and tea. So, but it's like don't overwhelm yourself, but start small. And I noticed when I started to be healthier, started to drink more water, I didn't even crave having candy and different things because I didn't have all that sugar. So small changes can make big changes in our life. So invest in your health. What are some of the ways that we can invest in our health? For me, it was, like I said, drinking water, but also trying to flip some things around too by, the eating fried food. Fried food is something that, while we enjoy it and it tastes good, it really isn't good for us. So I went from having fried food. I do have fried food occasionally, but for the most part, I eat grilled or baked because it's much better for us, and we feel better too. Because when you feel better, you can do more things for yourself. So invest in your health. Try to incorporate some fruits, some vegetables. Um, you may not be able to go to a gym. Maybe you can't afford going to a gym, but you can do some exercises, working out, do some exercises at home, watch some videos on the internet, on social media, and do some exercises. Go for a walk in your house, get busy, get active. Those are small changes that we can make and incorporate into our daily routine so that we can feel better. Okay. Invest in your health. And another thing for investing in my health was, being intentional about, doing some things for myself, like getting a life insurance, making plans for the future. That's an investment in your health too. It's an investment. Invest in yourself. Oh, that's awesome, Eastside. I love to hear that. And I can't even lie to y'all. I cannot say water is my number one drink. That's why I'm working on it. Like I got water bottles now, whereas I never did before. This is only in the past, I want to say 6 to 7 months. I am a water drinker like I should be, because we have to do better. We have to do better than the past because um, when we get certain ailments, it's more expensive after we get sick than if we would do some preventative care. So try to prevent things as much as you can. Try to take care of yourself. Get some rest. Stay out. Take a breaks from social media. Go out and be in nature. Getting some fresh air. Those are some of the things that we can do to invest in our health and invest in ourselves. Yeah, that's very important. Okay. So make a list of small changes you can make in your daily routine and invest in yourself. So let's get to point number 5. Surround yourself with people who want to see you do well. I think that this is a very important point. Oh, that's awesome, Estad. That's awesome. I think it's very important for us to um, surround ourselves with people who want to see us do well. For a long time, that was my issue. When you have a lot of people that whether it's in your family or if it's friends, part of self improvement is being able to see through the way people treat you. Like if people are being disrespectful to you, if people aren't being understanding to you, um, if people are being demanding or they're asking things of you that they are not doing for you, it's like demanding that you do X, Y, and Z for them, but then they're not doing X, Y, and Z for you. That's an unrealistic standard, and you don't have to take that. Well, Miss Tracy, we can always do better. Today is a new day. You can start with your today. And that's why I do these topics, is not to make anybody feel embarrassed, not to make anybody feel judged or nothing. I want you all to have a better life. I want you to be motivated for yourself to make extreme changes, and you can do it. Small steps, okay? So surround yourself with people who want to see you do well. And it may be harder, for others to do so, because you may not have a lot of people around you that will support you. You have more people who are toxic. Got to get back to work. Good to see you. Thank you so much, East. Have a great rest of your evening. It's so important for us to do that for ourselves, though. We can love ourselves. We can say we love ourselves, but we're not doing what it takes in order to show it. Saying it, speaking it out of our mouth, and then the action showing it. When we say we love ourselves, we don't let people use us as a doormat. We don't let other people disrespect us. Well, we don't let people, if they say they're going to do something and they don't do it, we don't let them keep disrespecting us like that. We have to speak up for ourselves. Hey, Tamika Davis, how are you? Welcome. Good to see you. Happy Wednesday. Happy hump day, and happy new month to you and everybody in the chat. We have to surround ourselves with people who want to see us do well. And that is a hard thing sometimes, because the people in our environment may not always have a healthy mindset. They may not always want to do better. They actually may be a toxic person. Sometimes they may have some mental health issues. They may just not want to make any changes, and they don't understand why you are seeking to improve and get better. Because the more that you make changes, you're going to start seeing people will start drawing away from you, because you intimidate them. You show up something inside of them that they would like to do, but they don't have enough courage to do it. But don't let that stop you. Constantly seek to improve yourself and love you. Constantly keep working on yourself and love yourself. That's very important. So that positive support system, having it in friends, having it in mentors, having it everywhere in your life, is going to make you feel so good about yourself, because we are who we associate with. And it brings a lot of weight, because when I'm weak, when I'm feeling some type of way, and the same thing for you, when you're feeling some type of way in your life, you need to have somebody in your life that's going to encourage you when you are weak. It's very important, because even the scriptures say that when I am weak, I am strong. You have to have somebody to lean on when you cannot give it to yourself. You have to have somebody say, keep going. I believe in you. I support you. You're going to get through this. I'm here for you. I'll listen to you. And if you don't have that, that's why you feel weakened. You feel so discouraged. You must find people who support you. And in that means that when you're trying to find people who support you, you have to back away from people who don't, even in your own family. Sometimes the family members are the most toxic, the most hazardous to your personal growth. I had to learn that. While I love my family, I had to learn to love myself more. And they will be upset sometimes. Oh, you don't hang around me anymore. Or, oh, you think you're better than me? No, it's none of that. It just means I love myself more. I love myself more, and I don't let others disrespect me. And you have to show them that. And they'll start to pay attention, like, oh, she doesn't tolerate things anymore, or she doesn't let me do what I used to. No, I don't. Because you've been introduced to self love. You've been introduced to understanding. You've been introduced to compassion. You've been introduced to respect for yourself. So, everybody, respect yourself. And we've come to the last point of this topic. Be patient with yourself. That's how you can improve yourself, by being patient. We're not robots. We all have feelings, right? We all have feelings. So there's certain times where you just need to take a rest, and you don't need to make those phone calls like you normally do. Oh, thank you so much, Nexie. Very much appreciated. Thank you. I'm about to play when the super chat hits. Time to bring out the panda. Hold, please. Thank you so much, Nexie. Very much appreciated. Thank you for your support of the channel. Yes, the panda. So, yeah, I was talking about, being patient with yourself. That's very important for your self improvement, how to become a better person. Know that you're a human being. Know that you have feelings, that you need to take a break, that you can't be there and to support everybody. You got to support yourself. So, this is the point where I'm going to put the link in the chat for anybody who would like to come up and share your thoughts. I'm going to mute the mic for a second so I can put the link in the chat. I will be right back. Speak among yourself. Okay, I'm back. So the link is there in the chat for anybody who would like to put their input into this discussion. They have something to say so that they can help to um, help others see. Like I like to always say here on my lives, the first part of the discussion is for me to share the knowledge, and the second part is the action part, like how we can put it into action. So anybody who has something to add to it, how you can improve yourself, what did you do to help you to improve yourself? Okay, so let's see what's happening in the chat. Yes, we must remember respect goes both ways in any relationship. Yeah, putting yourself first before family members is one of the hardest things you will ever do. I will definitely say that, Nexie and everybody in the chat. It was so hard for me to do that for myself. And it was so hard for me to do that for myself, and to look at my family members and to admit that to myself, that they were toxic. That's a really hard thing to do, is to say that family members were toxic. um, and they are. Some family members, not everybody who is related to you by blood is meant to be in your life. Not everybody that you know for a long time, supposed friends, are good for us. And that could be the reason why we're held back in our progress and our potential in our life, because we're following behind, helping other people with their agendas and their motives, but we're not being supported to get to ours. And yeah, it's hard to pull away from family members, but we have to do it. We must do it. It's very important too. Hey, African Dreamin', how are you? Welcome. Good to see you. Yep, it's very important for us to do those things, to love on ourselves. It's very important. And like I used to always think that I was being disloyal, because of let me add Nexie to the stream. Hey,
Hey, how are you, Marlene?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I think I'm rested. I've been asleep like all day, but I feel so much better. I was so tired.
Oh, very good. I'm glad to hear that you got some rest. So,
You.
Miss
Well,
Nexie, what would you like to add to this discussion?
for me, I think that. Give me a second. Give me a second, Marlene. Hold on.
Okay, sure. Thank you all so much for being here. I appreciate your support. And those of you who have not liked already, please like this stream. Let me change this brand thing.
Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that.
Oh, no
Uh,
problem.
I think that for me, it wasn't so much in the begin, like when my children were small or younger. I can say. Um, it bothered me that family will uh, give me their input and everything, but it didn't. I will not, pay attention to it. Um, but I started noticing that as my children got older, their input on how I was raising them or how they were growing up, or how some family you're letting them play too much, or you're not focusing on their studies, or I don't like the way she talks to you, or I don't like the way he behaves around so and so. So when I started noticing that my children were changing towards me, or becoming a little bit more sensitive when my family members were around, I had to put a stop to that, because I noticed that what their criticism, even though it bothered me, but I didn't care, it bothered them even more, and it was affecting them a lot more than it would affect me, because I already knew them. So at that point, when I started noticing the changes on my children, um, because they couldn't answer back, I guess, what they really wanted to say to my family members or to me, they were giving me a little bit more of attitude. So at that point, what I had to do is I had to put a stop to that, and I did it in a very nice way to my family members. I will tell them, well, that's the way I'm raising my children. I that's the way they are, and they're good kids. And whatever you have to say, just keep it to yourself. And I will do it in front of them, without any disrespect, so that they could see that I wasn't taking into account all of the input they were giving me, that I appreciated who they were. I liked who they were, didn't care. But I had to do it so my children could see that I was on their side. And that was hard for me to do.
Yeah, I definitely get where you're coming from, because family members can think because they're older or because they went through certain things in their life that you have to have your family, or that you have to do what they did because that's what worked for them. You have to let everybody in a family do things their way, how they want to do. We can't impose on other people because of how we think it should go. And that family members can put in way too much of their own personal input into things, and we're not even seeking their feedback, but they try to tell you what you're not doing right, and they're not willing to do anything to help you, to do anything with your family, with your immediate family that you're taking care of. But it's like family members can be very judgmental,
Yes, they can. Yes, they can. And it didn't, like I said, it didn't bother me because I don't take into account, you know, I raise my kids according to how I think is right for them. You know, everything that I'm doing is for their improvement, for them to be okay. So I don't take, I might, you know, if I see something that I like, I might take it in and say, hey, maybe I can incorporate that into the, you know, bringing up of my children. But when family members start criticizing either that, you know, your son spends too much time in the computer, or that your daughter's reading too much, or you know, that your other child is either in too many sports, and you know, things like that, and you don't say anything, your kids feel like you're not on their side, or
Mm,
that you're taking everything that they're telling you into account, and then when you correct something that they're doing, they're feeling like you're taking their, you know, the family side
right.
and
Yeah.
correcting them because of that. So I had
Yeah.
to put a stop to that. I had to, and it hurt me because, like I said, I don't like doing things like that in front of my kids, but I had to do it so that they could understand that when I was correcting them, or when I was telling them something, it wasn't because I was listening to them. It was because I thought that what they were doing was a little too much.
Yeah. And I can say that when I was a child, I used to feel that way all the time, but I didn't know how to voice that. Because my mom used to always say, like, right or wrong, like the adults were always right. And I didn't agree with that. There's a lot of things that used to happen back in the day that was very wrong. Like, adults used to be very disrespectful to you or make you do things that made you feel uncomfortable. But the parents would just say, "Oh no, that's my sister or my brother or auntie or uncle or whoever it was." Just because somebody is an adult, that it doesn't give them the free reign to do whatever it is that they want, or to not treat them like they're not a human being. We have to let kids have their rights and freedoms too, that yeah, they can have an opinion, and if it's different from yours, that does not mean that they're disrespectful. Respect goes both ways.
Exactly. And sometimes when some, like an adult would say something like you said, and you know, that's my aunt, that's whatever, then you start feeling, I wish I was your aunt so that you can take what I'm telling you into account.
Yeah, and that's something that I had to do with my siblings. I had to say, like, you're my sister and I respect your opinion, but in this aspect, I don't agree with that. I even had to do that for like my nephew and other little kids in my family. We can't just say because we went through something as an adult that that's the standard right now. Life changes. People have different perspectives and views. Life just changes on and on from one day to the next. So we can't think we know how life is for another person, because everybody has different experiences.
Exactly. And the thing is that a lot of times, like you said, because of respect, I always felt, especially in my mom's house, I always felt that when the grown-ups were there, you know, when the aunts, uncles, whatever, when they were there, she will become more mean. Like she would
Yeah.
like to show off more in front of them and humiliate me or my, you know, my brother or whoever was there a little bit more. So maybe like to show off that she was the one in power in the house or whatever. And that always bothered me. That always really, really bothered me
Yeah.
because, you know, she will become even worse than she was, normally was, in front of these people, just to make sure that they knew that she was the one that held the stick in the house, you know,
Hmm.
and allowed and feed more their ego. And they will belittle you like so fast and so much that it was sometimes hard to shake all that noise in your head. But you had to tell yourself, you know, they're not right. They're not right. They're not right. At least I had to do that.
Yeah.
because it was too much. They will attack you. They will hold into the one little thing that you weren't doing right and missed everything that you were doing right. I mean, the one thing you were doing wrong, and then missed everything that you were doing right. I'm sorry, that's what I meant to say.
Right. Yep. I can appreciate that too as well. Growing up, it's like adults used to step on kids, like break. I call it breaking their spirits, because it's like you break down a child so much. You always say they don't do this and they're lazy and they do this and they don't do that. But what about all the times that they do? What about the times that they do listen and they are doing their homework and they're doing their best to make you happy? But as parents, also, you can't be like it's our like children are robots. They're human beings and they have feelings. So you have to also listen to them too and find out what they want to do, not just what you want. Because I like the conversation aspect now that's happening in my family that I enacted in the family once my parents passed away. I said, we're going to learn to communicate with each other when we're mad. We're not just going to ignore each other for like 3 weeks or 5 years. Before we have a conversation, we're going to say, when you said that, that made me upset. And then have a conversation to find out why. And then stop doing things that triggers that in other people. And we have to stop being afraid to have those conversations, to speak up and say when somebody hurts your feelings, when someone embarrasses you, when someone does something wrong, to speak up and respect yourself. And it will go both ways. And they have to do the same thing for you. But way back in the day, it wasn't that way. It was like somebody would say something, and if you told them how you felt, they would always say you were disrespectful when all you were doing is speaking up for yourself.
Yeah, and the thing is that even though you were speaking for yourself, you know, sometimes I would look at my mom like she just insulted me. Like, why aren't you saying anything? You used to speak for yourself because you saw that the person that was in charge of you wasn't really doing anything. So that's when the disrespect came up. That, oh my gosh, you're so disrespectful. Why? Because I say that I'm not the way you think I am. Oh, because I told you that what you're saying is not nice. That's not disrespect. I'm just calling you, off on what you're saying. And the one thing that I remember, Marlene, that I did. Yeah, baby, I'll be right there. Sorry, Marlene. I'm at home
It's
today, and the
okay.
little guy just walked in. Sorry. The one thing I remember, I got married, very young. I was 18, I think, when we first got married, and when I started having children, my mom made a comment one time in a family meeting. I mean, a family reunion that we had, and she said, one of my aunts asked, you already have babies, and I said, yeah, yeah, I have two now, and then my mom said, yeah, she has two girls, just wait until they're her age and they'll become pregnant and run away or whatever. She'll understand what I felt when she got married. And I looked at her like, how dare you? Like, how dare you say something like that in front of these people and against my children? And then I just looked at her and I said, you will never see that. That will never happen. And I'm very proud to say that that never happened. My daughters are, good girls. They're great adults. They're in their 30s, mid 30s, and they're barely starting families. So I told her the other day, remember when you said this? She's like, oh, no, I don't remember. Well, you did say it. And remember, I told you
Yeah.
you will never see that? I say, you never saw that.
Yeah, and that's the whole thing, Nexie, is that people will say something to you, and then when you call them out on it, they will say, "Oh, I didn't say that," or "Oh, I don't remember," because it didn't come true. But I'm telling you that the moment that, okay, say that did happen, they were gonna say, they were gonna highlight that when they were wrong, but um, they will never highlight when they're wrong, but they will always highlight when they're right. And I don't think that that's a good thing to do and to be. I used to always was seeking when I was younger. Why didn't my parents and my siblings and other adults speak up for myself when people would say things like, "Oh, she's dumb or she's stupid." Like that era used to be back in the day. That I don't see it happening like it was back then, but it always used to be like they would always put down a child and say they're stupid or they're foolish, they can't do anything, or embarrass you and say, she's doing this, or they would highlight the flaws of you in front of other people to like make themselves feel like, oh yeah, I'm the parent and they're the child, and look how my child is messing up. Or I learned as an adult to never bring, like personal business to other people. Only talk about your family, about what the good things that they're doing, and highlight the positive, and refrain from the negative. And that's how you strengthen family bonds. Uh, don't disrespect one another. Oh, we can't continue to do that. Let's see.
And that is the one thing that I always, now that that the kids are older, and when family members, when we all get together, that's the one thing I do call out. If I see someone trying to disrespect a child or criticizing someone, I don't do it in front of the kid. I wait until the kid leaves because it's feeling uncomfortable, or I signal just go, and then I'll tell them, stop doing that. Why do you guys keep on doing this? We're in a reunion so we can get along, so we can get to know all of our family. And you guys continue to do this. This is probably going to be the last reunion because you guys continually are criticizing the new generation. You're going to make them stop this. So you have to stop. You guys have to change. And, you're getting older. Start changing a little. They
Yeah.
get upset, but
Yeah. And that's why I always talk about emotional intelligence. Not a lot of us weren't raised to be respectful of others. It was just one of those things like they're an adult and they demand to be respected, but they're being disrespectful to others.
yeah, the adult card. I never understood that. Well, I'm the adult, therefore I know. And now I look at my mom or whoever told me that, and I will say, that's not necessarily like true. Yes, you're an adult. I will never say that, but I will think like, yes, you're the adult, but what you're saying right now is not right, and it's not true. It's so you might be the adult, but you don't know what you're talking about. That's exactly what I used to think.
And I agree with that. We have to learn to set boundaries with our family members. We have to set boundaries with friends, that we're not going to put up with foolishness. We're not going to be negative. And it starts with one person in a family saying, I'm not going to let you talk bad about these kids. I'm not going to let you talk about, the maybe some mistakes that they have made or mistakes that you have made. And say, we're going to let that go. And we're not going to talk about this anymore. We're focusing on today. But it takes somebody in a family to taking ownership of that and saying what we were doing before was not good. That was toxic. That was unhealthy. And now we're going to communicate. We're going to speak to each other with love, and not just with friends, with family, with anybody, just individuals in general. I don't tolerate disrespect from anybody that I know. Let's see.
Give me 1 second, Marlene. I'll be right back.
Okay, sure. And that's what we have to do. We have to respect ourselves. We have to respect our family members. We have to respect our friends, and we can't just hide behind those labels. Like Nixie was talking about the adult card. We can't just throw out the adult card for poor behavior and just say, because I'm an adult, I can do whatever I want to. And I was just talking about this on my other channel, Life with Marlene. We can't do the same thing when it comes to like women versus men, and just saying because I'm a woman I can do this and you can't do it because you're a man. So well, it's one standard for everybody. Respect is something that everyone deserves when they do right, and we can't disrespect children. We can't disrespect people who are adults, and the adults have to respect children too. They can't demand things of others. They can't embarrass them, make them feel inferior. And somebody has to speak up for the children. Somebody has to speak up for the ones that don't have strength and courage to do it. We have to speak up for one another and say, that's not right. Don't do that. Don't talk to the person like that. And we have to have these important conversations. I think it's very important to have them. It's very important to have respect for yourself, because when you respect yourself, you can respect others. But other people, if they're not there in their life, they will try to make you, try to diminish it, or try to make you feel like they can do what they want to, and you must accept what they are saying. And it doesn't work that way.
Okay, thank you for waiting for me. And that's the thing, Marlene, is that you're I noticed that family members sometimes they try to give you um tell you everything you're doing wrong, try to give you guidance when it comes to your life, your your marriage, whatever, to children, and their entire household is in turmoil. So you're like, I don't understand, and I don't think you're the best qualified person to give me, input on what you think I should do, what you feel I'm doing wrong, and what you think my future, children's future should be like. Because unless or until you put your house in order, maybe then I will take heed of what you're telling me. But, you're looking at somebody else's family and you're not really taking a look into yours.
Yeah. And I always say that. I always call that unwarranted advice. People love to give you advice, and you didn't ask for it. And the very ones that their life is in shambles is. I'll give you an example. We all have somebody in our life that will always tell us to save some money, and they never have money.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Exactly. Oh my God. Yes.
Yeah.
Or you go, I gave you an example. We went, they wanted to do a Laughlin family reunion, a Laughlin trip or something like that, a while back. And, some people were in charge of rooms, and some people were in charge of where we're going to go afterwards, foods and whatever. And of course, they got me in charge of getting the rooms.
Mhm.
And we have an RV, so I was not gonna stay anywhere. We're just gonna stay in our RV. And I booked, I think about 10, 10 or 12 rooms
Right.
for family members and everything. I only got back or got paid for like four, maybe
Wow.
three. To this day, they I still haven't gotten anything back. And we were supposed to, everybody was supposed to give me their money, pitch in or whatever, and they all like, oh yeah, I'll give it to you, I'm so sorry, I completely forgot. And I tell them, I can give you my account number, I can give you my phone, I can give you my Apple Pay.
Mhm.
And that was about 5 years ago, so I don't think I'm getting it back.
Mhm. Well, Nixie, I'll tell you how I handle certain situations like that. I would have paid for the people who paid for me. The people who put their money in, they would have showed up, and they would not have had anything.
Well, you
I
know
would say,
what,
did you pay?
this
No.
was the first time that we had ever gone away like that. Like, this was the first time I was in charge of something like this. Like, we always did it locally. We always got together, so everybody went home. But this time they wanted to do something like nice, something different, and that's how we all got together. So it was like 12 families So I did, I only did 9 or 10 rooms. I'm not completely sure. I have to go back in my records because I was about 5 years ago. But, like I didn't know that this was going to happen. Like none of us did. We didn't know that these people, oh yeah, I'll give it to you later. Why don't you wait at the end of the trip so that, I can see how much I have and whatever. And I'm thinking, okay. And so to this day,
Oh,
I
wow.
haven't seen anything back, and it was a pretty penny. It's not cheap to to book that many rooms for like 3 nights. I mean,
Right.
2 nights, 3 days. It's not that cheap, but I'm like, you know what? Whatever. It is what it is.
Yeah. But you know
Lesson
what?
learned.
But you know what? When things happen to us, it's a life lesson.
Yes.
You know who to include in future events and who to leave out.
Yeah, but sometimes I'm thinking, if it's like, if these people feel like because you have a good job, oh, she's got the money. It's okay. She has money.
Hmm.
She's not going to be missing this, $300 each room or whatever. She
Right.
works, she has a good job. She has money. Her kids are grown. So it's okay. She'll be fine. I feel like that's how people feel sometimes or think sometimes.
Well, I can say it's happened to me many a times, Nexie, and I had to learn that too. That even if you have money and you can afford to do certain things, but don't put that on me if I did not tell you that I can. We can't make assumptions that somebody is going to pay just because I have the money or because I did well and I did certain things. I did that. I did things in the background. I got my schooling. I was responsible with my money, and nobody has the right to tell you how to spend your money, and you have to speak up for yourself and to tell people, okay, this is what I'm going to tolerate and this is what I won't. And if you don't pay for it when you get there, you're not going to have a room. So I would give them the number. Like if they wanted to do something in the future, you would give them a number. You need to call and make your own arrangements. I'm not making any arrangements. That's how I do things moving forward with people in my family who like to do the same thing to me. Oh, you have it and you don't have it, any little baby, so you're not in my same situation. And family members, I love them, but also I don't like the behaviors that they do. They kind of have the expectation that when you do something once for them, you have to do something for them forever, and I don't get down with that. Like it's not my responsibility to take care of you when you're an adult and you have your family.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly, Marlene. And I think that's actually a very good point. Is that the expectations? Oh, she did it the last time. She knows how to do it. Just have her do it for you. Oh, can you do it for me again? You know,
Yeah,
or
and you
can
have
you?
to speak up for yourself and say no. Say if you want to do it, you need to do it yourself.
Yeah, and another thing I found out is, how when you're having like a reunion or you're going to visit family and then they decide to go to the market and you out of your kindness says it's okay, I'll pay for it. I'll pay for it. Get whatever it is. I'm eating here too, so I'll pay for it.
Mm-hmm.
And then you start seeing that every time you go, they decide to go that particular time to the market. They have nothing ready until you get there, and then they're expecting you to continue to do that.
Mm.
And I feel bad. I feel like saying like I already put a stop to that because I had noticed that certain family members, every time I went there, or if we went somewhere, let's say we went to Starbucks to get a coffee, or we went somewhere else, they will always expect me to pay.
Oh,
They will order and then move away from the register, and I'm like, wait a minute, what the heck is going on?
yeah.
And so what I started doing, and I first of all I told them, are you going to give me the money for your drink, or I think, or I will start saying, "Oh, yours is gonna be like $6, so just give me five if you want. I'll put the other dollar. Don't worry about it. Just give me
Oh,
five." And they will look at me like, uh, And I started doing it after they had ordered because I noticed that if I asked them before, I will say, "Oh, yours is gonna be like 5." Oh, then I don't want anything.
Yeah, and
And I,
that's how you have to continue to do it. Then oh well.
no, and I will say, "Oh, okay, just let her just add it to my bill because we had already ordered, right?"
Right.
Or I felt bad, but now before I order, or what I do is I started carrying cash, because before it will be on my debit or whatever, and
Right.
they will think it was okay for them to order because I was paying for it. It was only one thing. So what I did from then on is I order for me and my son, and then I'll pay. And even if they're close to me, I don't ask them what you want. And then I move away, and then I let them, you can go next, or you can go first, I go after you. And they just look at me like, oh, okay, okay. And then they end up ordering just the one or two things. But if I was the one paying, they will order like three or
Yeah.
four things.
Oh, I have something like that. A situation that happened to me too, when we'll go to a place, a restaurant, and then they'll start placing and getting all of this stuff, and then I'll be standing back, and they said, "Aren't you coming?" I said, "Nope, I'm waiting for you to finish."
Yeah, I had to do that too.
Yeah.
I had to, like, I asked the kids, what do you guys want, ahead of time. Oh, we want this, we want that. Where we're going, mom? This particular place. Okay, I want this, I want that. And I kind of knew what they like to drink and everything. So I will just order. And sometimes they will be standing next to me. I will order for my kids, and they will ask, is that it? I will say, yeah, that's it. That's all I need. And then I wouldn't even turn, even though I felt they were right behind me or next to me.
Mhm.
I didn't even turn
To
to
look at them.
to to look at them. Yes, I will order, pay, and then I'll say, okay, now you're next.
Oh,
And
oh,
they will
oh,
look at me
oh
with disbelief.
now here is another good one that I learned from my sister, dealing with certain individuals in my family or certain friends when they get have the expectation that you're always going to pay for them. I started to do like if I knew I was going to go to a place, I would pre-order it and pay ahead of time.
Oh, I haven't done that yet.
Yeah, I tried that one next. I mean, it works. So when they go and they're going up to the register and saying, "Aren't you going to order?" I said, "No, I've already paid."
I'm
I,
gonna do that. I've never done that. It's like,
yeah.
I said, it was they took advantage of me for a long time,
Mhm.
because I felt bad. I was like, oh my god, it's my kids' cousins, or it's their auntie, or it's my
Right.
sister sometimes. And my sisters are very good at giving me the money back. But what happened is that I always knew, like, my sisters will say, I'll give it to you later. And then later on, I will get the $20 back. My sister's
Right.
always done that. But with people, because my sisters will say that, they will take advantage. Oh, okay, then I'll give it to you later.
Yeah.
And so, um, it's, let me put an example. We went to eat a couple of weeks ago, and one of my in-laws, my kids' aunt, came along with us, and my sister too, and myself, and we went to eat, and we ordered. And so my sister was inviting me, right? I was not gonna expect my sister to pay for this other person too. So my sister and I ordered, and my sister, this person was about to order, and then my sister said, "Oh, no, 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 I'm paying for her today. So wait until I'm done, and then you can order."
Oh.
And this person just looked at me like with the meanest eyes ever. And then my sister goes, "See, I told you. She doesn't even like you. She just takes advantage of you."
Yeah. And when you start standing up for yourself, and then they get upset because, oh, you're not, and they'll say, like, one time they're like, "You're not paying for me." I was like, no. I was like, why should I have to pay for you? And the whole thing about it, next to what irritates me, is it's not just that you're paying for them. They want you to pay for who they're in a relationship with, and for their kids and a friend. I'm
Yes.
like, what is going on? I'm not paying for
Yes.
four more people. No.
Yes. And if you don't, can you believe her? She couldn't even pay for us.
Yeah. And then they
And
talk
then,
nasty and say, she has the money, or look, or they'll say, look at the car she has, or look at her house.
yeah,
She's so
yeah.
cheap. Try to make you feel like you're guilty.
And you're like, yeah, but I work really, really hard to get here, to have, gotten my house, got my car. So I
Hmm.
have to work really hard to stay where I'm at.
Yeah, that's the whole thing. Like I always say, because I work nights, so I always say, you're complaining about me, and the money I have, and I'm like, but when I'm making my money, you're in your bed sleeping.
Exactly. Exactly. You work the 11 to 7, Marlene?
And no, I usually work overnights. I work 7 p. to 7 a.m.
Oh, okay. 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 That's, yep. I know what that means.
So when I'm just coming home and getting in the bed sleeping, they're just waking up and going to work. So it's like they don't understand. Like, and I had to learn to teach them boundaries too. When you work at nights, that okay, I'm sleeping right now. So when I'm sleeping, don't call me when you're on your lunch break. You know what I'm trying to
Y-
say? And no matter how
Yes.
many times you would tell them, don't call me during this time, you know how I taught them a lesson, and this is probably petty, but I'll wait until 3 in the morning when I'm at work and call them.
Oh my God.
Yeah, call them and say, hey, what's up? And they're like, why are you calling me at 3 in the morning? I'm sleeping. And I said, oh, you are? I was like, calling to see what's up. Because that's what they do to me. They'll call me right at their lunchtime or their convenience. So they don't respect when you're tired, but you're supposed to respect when they are. I was like, it doesn't work that way. I'm
It's
telling you,
true.
do it. It works.
You know
Call
what?
them
I'm
at
gonna
three
start.
in the
I'm gonna
morning and
start.
say, hey, what's up?
I'm gonna start doing that like around 5:30, 6, when they're barely getting into their second, cycle of sleeping. You know what? I've had my shameful. Sometimes I should say I shouldn't say this, but I'm going to. My shameful in-laws sometimes do. They will send my nieces or nephews to ask me for if they could borrow money.
Yeah. Mhm.
And to say no to my niece or my nephew is very hard.
And they know that.
Yeah, and I had to put a stop to that. I will tell my niece and nephew, "What do you need this for?" I will ask them, like, first I will ask them, "What do you need this for?" Oh, well, it's because and then I will tell them, "Just tell me the truth. Do you need those, or did your mom ask you to, or your dad ask you to ask me?" And they will say, "I'm sorry, Auntie, my mom asked me to ask you because she needed for this." And I said, "Have your mom come to me. Don't tell her what we just talked about. Just tell her, you know what, my auntie said that she wanted to talk to you before
Yeah.
giving me the money because she didn't believe I needed that money. Just tell them that." And then I will go off on my in-laws, because how do you put your kids in that predicament?
Yeah.
Children shouldn't be worried about money or things like that. It's this, it's just disloyal to do that to a child. So I will tell them, no, I can't lend you any more money because you still owe me 1,500 from like 3 years ago.
Yeah. And yep, that's what it's about, boundaries, like African Dreamer was saying. Boundaries, boundaries, boundaries. If we don't make them for people, we can't improve, because if you're so busy trying to help other people, you don't give yourself time to do the things that you want to do. You're busy with them. So I had to learn to cut off a few people and stop doing things to supposedly help people, because it's just like that saying, like, you teach people to fish and you'll feed them for the rest of your life. But just buying them a fish dinner, like just giving them some food, that doesn't help them forever. It's like
Yeah.
I don't mind with helping like certain family members if they're trying to go to school and they need help with like school fee or a book or something, because I'm helping them so that they can help themselves forever. But just helping, giving somebody some money for some groceries or something like that, that's not really helping them.
No, it's not. It's actually, I think you're hindering their growth. And like I said, I've done this over the years, and help people that are not even part of my family anymore. But when I kind of woke up, I think, and started doing what I'm telling you I started doing with the family, is when an emergency resulted somewhere in the extended family, and they hit, a lot of the our families for money. And you know it was a huge, supposed to be emergency. And so they took me for like, I think it was like $1,000, either 800 or $1,000, around that. And I thought it was like an emergency, so I gave it to them, and they said, we'll pay you in like 3 months, we just need it right away. And then um, you go into Facebook, and then you start seeing pictures of them in a certain vacation,
Yeah.
that they had just arrived, and they're taking pictures in this place, and they're taking pictures in that place. And you're thinking, where was the emergency at? And how dumb are you that you're going to post pictures there right now?
Hmm.
So I was very upset about that, because I was so scared. I thought that something really, really bad had happened. And it was just, it was just a vacation that they needed to take, that they had already booked, I figure. And either go or you lose your money. So from that day on, I said, that's it. I'm not going to do that again.
Yeah.
And, to this day, that money has never returned to my to my hands.
Yeah. Yeah. Uh, Everything, I would say everything is a lesson. Every experience you go through in your life, it's what you take from it. And sometimes we have to learn hard lessons and learn the people that we can't trust. I can't trust you. Like the first time somebody does something to you, it's shame on them. The second time you allow something, it's shame on you. So you have to put an end to bad behavior. And yeah, I think that that's important. And we talk about self improvement and how it is so important. So we have to stand up for ourselves.
Yeah, we have to learn the lessons of life, and just be able to be alert enough to see who is the one taking advantage of us, and who is the one who actually need us.
Hmm.
I think that's the most important thing.
Yeah, my issue always has been that I can't say no to children. So like when I have my little cousins and my nieces, like I will do something for them, and I had to learn to stop buying. Like they'll say like, "Oh, auntie, I'm hungry," or "cousin, I'm hungry," and then I know when I buy food for them, I'm buying food for the whole family. So what I would do is if they needed something to eat, I would say, "Come on over and get some food. I have food here." That I'm not gonna
Mm.
buy food and drop it off. So every because you can't go in the store and buy like I can't buy you one chicken leg. You know what I'm saying? I can't buy one chicken leg for a kid. It's like I feel like I have to buy the whole like a whole chicken and feed the mom, the dad, you know, and everybody else. So
Yeah, and it's exactly right. And also, I learned, I guess, through lessons, right? Because you go like through periods of time where you have clarity, and you say, okay, so I'm always with you, I'm always for you, but when it comes to me, there's always something that happens that you cannot do me that favor, or that you cannot take that time off, or whatever it is. That I It's never been money with me, but I noticed that I will help everybody, like family, right? And if one day they say, they call me from the school because one of the kids was sick, and I will call this person and say, can you please do me a favor, can you please go pick him up, because I'm like far away right now, and the school just called me, and you're on the list of people that can pick him up, can you please do me that favor? Oh, I
oh
can't right
wow,
now. I'm waiting for something, or I don't have transportation, and the school is like 3 blocks away. And you know what I mean? Like whenever it was time for me, or can you go home and stay with the kids for a minute because I've been called? Oh, I can't. I have the kids, and so is coming right now, and we were about to do something. So whenever it was time for them to do something for me, there was always a but. I can't.
yeah. And I had to learn that too, Nexie. I had to learn the same thing. So when it came back to them, I did the same thing.
That's what I started doing
And
too. I will sometimes, my niece, like my one of my sister-in-laws, her kids went to school like in the LA district, and sometimes she will tell me like, oh, they just call me, but I don't have the car right now. Can you go pick her up? And I will go all the way to LA to pick them up, and it's like 20-25 minutes for me.
Wow.
So yeah, of course. And that same person, when I will ask her to go pick up my child 3 blocks away, she couldn't. She never could. So I started, whenever she called me after that, when she did that to me, I said, I can't. I have the car, but I'm really busy right now. I'm sorry. And I will hang up right away so that the guilt trips will not, like, oh, I can't believe you're doing, I don't have anybody else. Oh my God. So I started, toughening up, because
Yeah.
whenever you don't, people walk all over you. You
Yeah.
know, they expect everything that you have to do for them. And then it's not a healthy relationship anymore.
No, it's one sided, and friendships are not one sided. I found that I was that type of friend that everything that my friend would need, like bent over backwards. If their kids were sick, if they needed some emotional support, it didn't matter the time. If I'm at work, I would stop whatever I'm doing to be there and to support my friends and my family. But when it came to me, I didn't feel like I got that same support. And I found that, especially when my parents died back to back like that, when my dad died and then my mom died, like I was completely lost and distraught. And asked me how many people was calling and checking on me. Like I got the general one call to say, "Oh, my condolences," but after that, nothing.
Yeah, and that's when you find out who your true friend is.
Mhm.
Who really is on your side. And sometimes it comes from the person that you have done the least for.
I always say your support comes from people you would never ever
Yes.
expect, and you're like,
Yes.
"Whoa,
Yep.
no way!"
And
But
you're like, so that is what a true friend is all about. They don't have to be up in your business all day long, every day, feeding you crap. But the silent ones that are on the side just waiting for you to need them, those are the true friends.
yeah,
Yep,
that's
I went through the same. I went when I had a very, very hard event about 14 years ago. There was my best friend of 20 plus years, and her cousin, who I have barely, came into contact with. I knew her, whatever, but barely, went out or anything. Her and her cousin were the only ones on my side.
mm,
Not even family, immediate family, nothing. Those two girls were the ones that pulled me through.
yeah. When I can say that the when I was going through the hardest and the darkest periods of my life, it was not from my best friends and it was not from family. I got support from strangers.
Wow.
When I say strangers, I mean strangers. Like I came on YouTube when the day that because I announced when my mom had died. I announced that when my mom died and my dad. And I had people on YouTube saying 3 people sent me bouquets of flowers. I had someone send me chocolate. I got people sending me cash apps. People offered to buy groceries for me, and my own family, nothing. I even had
Yeah.
someone who said, "I can't make it. I don't have the time. I'm busy right now." My
Wow.
own blood, and that was their family too.
Yeah.
It was strangers who showed up for me
Yeah.
and said, "Can I do anything for you?" and sending me cards, and I don't even know these people in real life.
Isn't that beautiful though?
Hmm.
Because they clarify your mind, your vision.
Yeah,
They let you see who really is in your corner.
yeah. That's why I always say that your support is always out there, but it's not the people who you expect to be there. And I get it. Sometimes people just can't be there, but it can't be everybody that you know. And that's how I felt. I was like, how is everybody ghosting me? I was like, I guess none of these people I have in my phone are my people. So I deleted all of them. I forget all of you.
Yeah, but how is it that when I need, like, I have to be there for you guys, and I've been there for you guys for the worst of times, and yet right now that you should be flocking over to me because I've always been there for you. Why is it that you can't because you're busy or you're dealing with your own? That's when you should drop everything and come to my rescue because I've always been there for you. That's how you feel in that particular time.
Yeah, and the crazy part is when my mom passed away in the hospital. Do you know, like family? Oh, it's in the middle of the night because my mom passed really early in the morning. They were like, "Oh, I'll come see you tomorrow." I was like, "For real?"
Wow.
And I had people who, like, we were just friends for maybe 2 weeks. She got out of bed. She says, "What? Your mom died?" She says, "I'm getting dressed. I'm on my way."
Exactly. Those are the people that you want to keep around. And it's good when things like this happen. Like I said, it's good because you're able to drop everything that is toxic, keep them at arm's length, as they say. And from then on, you're liberated because now you have that, not an excuse, but that thing to say, I'm sorry. When I really needed you, you weren't there.
Yeah, you weren't there.
So I'm sorry. From going forward, don't expect me to do anything for you.
Yeah.
And that's what I
That's right.
did back then. I dropped so many friends, so many so-called friends, so many family members. I said, I'm done. I figure out now who really cares for me, who really is on my corner, who really got my back. So from going forward, if you know how to count, don't count on this lady. And it's so
That's
much
what.
easier. It's so much
Yeah.
easier, Marlene. It's so much better now.
Yeah, and you have so much more peace too when you do that. It's like you respect yourself. Like, I'm not saying every single time I need somebody, I expect you to be there every time, but like if it's always no every single time I can't, or if I don't call you, you never call me. I'm like no. I was like I can't.
Exactly. It's something, like I said, it's an eye opener. And it's a good thing that it happens to you because, like I said, then you can just focus on whoever is with you and form, tighter bonds with those people.
Right. And that's one of the reasons why I wanted to have this conversation to encourage everybody that everybody has difficulties. And, over here, we're motivators. We're trying to improve our life and to seek ways to improve our life. But people who are in our life are not always the people who should be in our life. Some people don't respect us and they don't deserve to have us in their life. They get used to us doing things for them. They become entitled and we enable them with their bad behavior. But you don't have to continuously put up with it. And I definitely wanted to have this discussion to let you all know that you can find ways to seek to improve your life and to be better. So I just want to thank Nexi for coming up and everybody who came in the chat. Hold on, Nexi. Stay right there. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thank you so much for your support. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. Like I always say, live your best life.
Forgive me, I love me. I've been blessed that I have made it through. I'm stronger and worthy. I am enough now. What about you? I forgive me, I love me. I've been blessed that I have made it through. I'm stronger and worthy. I am enough now. What about you? Ooh, hey, yeah.
Be encouraged, be inspired, be yourself.